Good evening, everybody. This is Preeti on behalf of Linux World today. Welcome each one of y'all to this training of Terraform, uh, you know, with the complementary AWS, GCP, and Azure sessions, which we'll be providing. Okay, and the sessions would be every day. So I'll just give you a brief process of how do we flow with these technical sessions, and who would be delivering this session, which is very important. So I would like to just give you all a gist about it. So this program will be delivered, complete training program will be delivered by none other than Mr. Vimal Daga. He's a world record holder, senior principal IT consultant for top Fortune 500 companies, popularly known in the industry as an integration guru, because the need of the market today is like, how do you actually integrate various technologies to get a successful product, a project, or whatever you name it as. To know more about him, you can definitely go and check on LinkedIn. I'm sure when you all were, enrolling for this program would have definitely gone through this, that who's your mentor, because it plays a vital role. Second, this will be live sessions, no recorded sessions for this Terraform training, which we are delivering in this late evening hours. It will be Tuesday to Friday. I'm again repeating the schedule. It will be from Tuesday to Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days a week, 9:30 p.m. IST time onwards. It depends upon the topic for the day, which takes a session for either 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes or 1.5 hours. It all depends upon the topic which Vimal sir starts, and that's the reason you have to go. For this Terraform, we'll be forming a Slack channel. There'll be 5 technical volunteers being allocated to your WhatsApp group, which you have been added to. Those technical volunteers will be there to help you through this process. In case if you're facing any issue while doing any practicals which you have been taught in the class today, they'll be there to help you. At the same time, we have a Slack channel wherein almost there are more than 100 volunteers out there who help each other. They share their knowledge, they share their research which they're doing on a specific topic which is being taught in the class, and you all enjoy learning. That's the way we all enjoy research-based learning under Vimal Daga sir since long. Okay, so please everybody join the Slack channel so that you all are very well aware. General questions, general queries are anyways there on that. For WhatsApp message is just for the management purpose related things like your session links. In case of any change in the schedule or no sessions or whatever, it will be updated on the WhatsApp group. You will be having a learner success head as well. What does it mean? The learner success head is for your group to make your journey a grand success. Yeah, so basically that person will be there to take care of the management related things in case of anything. So there are 6 recording sessions, maximum 6 recorded sessions, which will be providing in case if you miss any session due to unavoidable circumstances. Here I'm not referring to the Earth students, I'm just referring to the Terraform students. So these people have 6 unavoidable circumstances based sessions. In case if you miss it, you have to fill up the form on the same day. If the day you miss the session and you get the recording the next day, you go through that before you attend the next day session. That's a process. We'll be making you familiar with the complete process. You'll be given ample of tasks during the sessions, which we are expecting each one of you all to do it, so that if you do the task, we are somewhere assured that yes, you have understood the concepts quite clearly, and only then we issue you the training certificate. That's a process of Linux World as always. I think that's it from my side. And over to you, Vimal Daga, sir, to take the session forward. Thank you, each one of you all. Thank you.
Welcome, guys. This is Vimal, and I will be the trainer for this program of Terraform. For me, it is just not only the Terraform class. We have exclusively, guys, designed this program where I will show you and demonstrate you how to manage the multi-cloud strategy with the help of some standard tool, open source standard tool that is called Terraform. Okay. So again, let me add here public multi-cloud I'm talking about, right? Typically if you want to manage your infrastructure on the cloud, maybe of AWS or Azure or maybe a Google Cloud like GCP, multiple way we have to manage those cloud. But mostly nowadays, guys, because we are into the multi-cloud world and maybe in the hybrid cloud world, we need some tool that is standardized, that makes the things standardized in making the strategy for maybe the hybrid cloud or maybe the multi-cloud. Technically, we are not into hybrid cloud training. We are into the multi-cloud, but if you want, I will give you a quick, concept or a comparison in my upcoming classes. So I would like to welcome you guys again one more time, Terraform with the multi-cloud. So the context for this training, the training is purely based on Terraform. Okay, but the use cases, the practicals, the demonstration that I will do in this training would be based on the use case, that if you have a multi-cloud requirement, right, how you can strategize, or what kind of strategy, guys, you can follow, you can plan for your business, right? So that will the highlight idea. But yeah, the overall agenda for this training would be Terraform only. So anybody who are interested to learn only Terraform, this is the training for you, because I'm going to start Terraform from very basic, from very zero to all the almost concepts of the Terraform with the practical hands-on. Okay, plus you can think as a extra bonus for you, you can think, right, those who wanted to learn only Terraform, that they are also going to learn a very powerful need of that current day and date, that the now company is moving their setup on the multi-cloud. So what is a multi-cloud, why they are moving, what kind of ROI they are getting, what kind of benefit they are achieving. I have tons of use case. So as we go progress in this program, you guys come to know what is those strategy and the use case and the requirement and challenges why they want to move to multi-cloud. But nowadays, I believe none of the companies should or are strict with one single cloud. Okay, they need multiple cloud, but for this, the biggest challenge is to manage those multiple cloud. So there the role of Terraform come in play. So what is Terraform? That is the core part of this training. So before, guys, I'll I'll talk much about this. I think Priti has already introduced me. Most of you guys already been part of some of my other training, but anybody who are first time listening to me and first time connected to me. So I always say it is always good to know about your instructor, because I believe it gives you a confidence on the content, whatever we are delivering. So just search my name, Vimal Daga, in the Google, and you will come to know what exactly I'm doing, what community I run, and lots of things, and lot of world record I have created under my profile. So you guys come to know multiple thing about me. You guys are, because you guys are technical. So in my life, almost all the technology or all the tool, in almost all the technology, guys, I have worked on. Okay, almost all the global certificate I have in the profile. Almost all the company in the world I have worked in some of the form. Okay, so you get the entire detail about me. So from last 19 or 20 plus years, I am working in this industry of IT. So this is a very quick intro about me. I don't want to invest your further time. So let's go directly to the main topic that is called Terraform. Okay. So before this, towards small thing, I just want to tell you before we go ahead. So there's no prerequisite for this training. Okay, because in the program, in this training, we will deal about the automation, and normally in the automation we have to write the code. So again, there's no programming language required. I will start the things from very zero. So there's one thing. So there's no prerequisite for this perspective. There's no prerequisite for Terraform. I will start everything from base level, from the zero level to almost all the advanced what will be possible in the Terraform we're going to cover. This second thing. Third thing, guys, I will try to touch almost all the use cases, and not only as a demonstration purpose. I don't normally use PPT. So whatever I explain you, I will try to set up those environment as a practical demo. I will show you step by steps how we can set up those things. And so you can come to know exactly the internal process of setting up those use cases and the demo. So I think I can say more than 95% this training is a practical or the hands-on. So that was the one of the main key part of this training. But one more interesting key part of this training is the way this program has been designed. If you see any Terraform program, either they are based on Azure or either they are based only on AWS. So I feel if you only want to use AWS, so I don't consider to use Terraform there if you are only using one single cloud, because every cloud has their own infrastructure as a core tool. Like for example, if you go to AWS, they have a cloud formation, right? If you guys know AWS, a very powerful tool. So you can use cloud formation to achieve what you want to achieve there in one single cloud. So, but if you're using some kind of third-party tool like Terraform here, so mostly the use case might be on hybrid cloud or use case might be in the multi-cloud. So that was one of the powerful demos we keep on doing in this training. So again, there's no prerequisite, guys, for any cloud knowledge also. But again, without having any cloud knowledge, thing won't work in this training, because Terraform we are going to integrate with multiple cloud. So what we have done, because in this training we are going to show you how to work in three main public cloud. One is AWS cloud from Amazon, one Azure cloud from Microsoft, one is GCP cloud from Google. So what we had done for you guys, this is extra facility or bonus from our side. Those who have no knowledge in AWS, no knowledge in Azure, or no knowledge in GCP, so my team, maybe either they shared or they will share some of my video classes on GCP and Azure and AWS and all the those three clouds. So anybody who have no knowledge in any of these cloud, they just go through these videos. So you guys will be up with this cloud knowledge. Okay. So if I talk something about how we manage the infrastructure on GCP, or what is the meaning of resource plan or resource management in Azure, and how we manage service in AWS. So those concepts, because the video that we are going to provide you about this topic would be again practical. So whatever knowledge we require as a prerequisite for this TensorFlow, these video will be, guys, more and more than enough to guys, to train you on these cloud. But again, the prerequisite for the Terraform is if you don't know these cloud, it won't help you in this trade. Okay, so again, technically there's no prerequisite, because we are going to share you some base videos also to update and upgrade yourself in these classes. Mostly in this training, mostly my practical would be based on AWS. Why? One of the reason is because mostly we guys are somehow know AWS, and somehow we are comfortable with AWS. So when I explain you some of the concept of Terraform, so I'll try to use maximum AWS concepts to integrate, because intention was to explain Terraform concept. So after, guys, you comfortable with this concept, and then same demo with multiple demo will collect together and try to implement Azure also, and try to implement in GCP also. So overall motto would be, by the end of this program, you would will be well trained on the Terraform. Plus you should be know why we want Terraform to be integrated with this multiple cloud. And after some class, I'm not discussing today, because right now I believe 99% guys might have not knowledge of all those cloud right now, but after some days, and after you guys some days, you have a Terraform knowledge also. Those knowledge and this cloud knowledge, if after we collect together, and that would be the right time to talk about what is multi-cloud. Okay, and why we need multi-cloud kind of strategy in our industries. So I don't want to invest time here, because without having these much knowledge, thing might not be properly understandable, right? So today what I'm doing, I will likely jump to a topic called Terraform. That is the main topic for us, right? So you guys come to know and become comfortable with the Terraform knowledge. Okay, so and guys, for this, there is no prerequisite. I am going to start things from very zero about the Terraform. So that is a very much quick thing as an initial requirement I explained to you. So let's guys directly jump to the Terraform. And even though this is the first class, but I would like to directly jump to the practicals with the Terraform with the step by step. Okay, so but I can tell you in this before I start this topic, world or industry need multi-cloud, and that is a current and the future. Tons of region we have. Slowly as we progress in the program, you come to know, plus maybe the hybrid cloud in all this area and the strategy and the methodology. Terraform is one of the great tool to be used. And guys, if you see the customers and the client of Terraform, I believe almost all the big industry use Terraform. So having a Terraform knowledge in your profile, in your resume, will be a great for your future career and your future project and for your future jobs also. So take this topic as a very serious note, because you find tons of document about the Terraform, but none of the document is fulfill the actual strategy of the multi-cloud. So I'll try to touch almost everything here with the real use cases in this training, right? So that's all guys, but again, we'll start the things from very zero. So let me start with the topic called Terraform. Okay, so before I start the Terraform as a topic, I just want to give you some vocabulary, so guys, everybody can be very much sync with me when I use this vocabulary, right? So let me start from here. So final requirement, guys, is always the one. We have a developer, we have certain requirement come from my project team, and according to the requirement, my developer has write the code, and after write the code, this code will do something for us. So normally for us, it is called app. Now it is your choice. You want to, which kind of app you want to create, but normally we create a website that's called web app. Okay. So final requirement would be as a final outcome, I want something where I can put this app or run my app. That is called, I want to deploy my app. So finally we want to run, or here the word is called, we want to deploy our app somewhere. Okay, so if you want to deploy the app, what you need as a very minimum requirement, you need a hardware, physical hardware, maybe RAM, CPU, hard disk, network card. On the top of the hardware, you need operating system. Okay, and on the top of the operating system, you have to configure the operating system with some server. Let's say because there's a web app, you might need web server or app server, whatever, depend upon which language this code has been written. For example, this is in PHP, you might need Apache web server. If they're written in Java, you might need JBoss or Tomcat server. It depends, guys, which kind of server you need. Okay, and on the top of this server, you will copy this code or this app and run it and execute this. Okay, so finally your website and web app will up, and after the app, your customer or whoever want to use the app, they will connect and they can see your website. So very simple, small minimum thing, minimum diagram I've created here. Okay. So in this entire context, okay, I just want to explain you where Terraform fit. Okay, that's what is very important to know before we go ahead. Okay, so here guys, let's me use one steps here. This is the first step. We need hardware. Second step, we need OS. Third, we need a server. And guys, when I say server, it means everything. We want to install the server software. If you guys know, we have a conf file, we have to configure it, start program, do some firewall settings, and lots of future tuning, something like this. Technically is known as a configurator. So we want to configure our server. Okay, and then we will have to put this code on the top of this is also somehow the part of configuration. So technically, if I divide this part in two form, so there are two different part over here. So what you see in the top, This is the part that is managed under a concept of configuration, that is known as configuration management part. So whatever I app need, okay, I will configure my operating system in that particular way. And what you see, guys, in the down part of this this line over here, okay, here this part is where we have to acquire a hardware. Now everybody know, guys, nowadays is very common, we don't buy a direct hardware from the market. Maybe you have some requirement where we buy real physical hardware, RAM, CPU, network card, and on the top of this physical hardware we install the operating system that is known as bare metal. Sometimes we require, so I'm not saying this is not there, but mostly nowadays we get this hardware somehow, some technologies that you guys might know. So this hardware, for example, I want to have 4 GB RAM, I want to have 4 CPU core, I want some 1 gigabit network speed, I want 100 GB hard disk with this kind of speed. So this hardware we need. So nowadays, rather than we buy those hardware, what we do, we go to some of further technology that will run behind this, that is known as virtualization technology. You guys might know those technology, and from this we will get this hardware on the fly. Whatever we need, we get it. So they work like real, but they're not real. They are virtual RAM, virtual CPU. So I think everybody is comfortable with this term of virtualization hardware, and this is the virtual hardware. But technically, why we need the hardware? Because without the hardware we can't install the OS. Okay, without this hardware we can't install the OS. Again, second, we can't up this OS, is called boot. So technically, if you have a requirement to have this OS, you need hardware, and this entire setup sometimes is known as we have our server ready. And without having this hardware or server ready, we can't configure anything. And without configure, we can't launch or run my app. So final use case, I want to run my app. That is a final use case or requirement. But for as a prerequisite, we need this real server, sometimes also known as we need this real system, and sometimes also known as we need this instance. And what we need, we have to first install it. Means I might need Red Hat version 8, CentOS, Ubuntu, Windows, depend which OS I need, okay, or which version I need. Then I have to boot it, start. So technically, guys, both this concept plug with this hardware requirement. This entire concept is mostly known as provisioning. So I have to provision or provisioning our operating system. So that is called, guys, provisioning kind of management. So what you see on the top is the part of configuration management. What you see in the down part, it is called provisioning of the OS, or I can say the provisioning management part. Okay, now it is your choice. I'm getting this hardware that is actually a virtual hardware from your virtualization tool. Maybe you guys might know VMware or KVM or Xen. That will be your requirement. But if you get this hardware from your virtualization tool, you have to manage this virtualization hardware. You have to buy the license from VMware, EXXI. You have to buy the real hardware from where they get it. Either you do so, or if you don't want to manage the underlying hardware or underlying virtualization tool, then you can go for third-party companies. They already have installed some virtualization tools. They already get lots of real hardware. You can go to those guys and say, I need some RAM, CPU hardware. I know they are not real, but they work like a real. So can you provide those hardware to me so I can provisioning my OS, and all on the top of this, I will do some configuration management part. So exactly same setup, but what you see in the right side, that is managed by you on your premises, on-prem or on your data center. What you see in the live, exactly same thing, but this hardware, this license, everything is managed by a third-party company, but we are the one who will use it. So these are known as like your cloud computing company. So guys, right now we are not as such in the cloud computing classes, but that is the actual meaning of the cloud computing company. Okay, and because this cloud company say anybody can use us, so normally known as public cloud computing companies. Okay, or maybe you can also use one word. These are the company who will provide us their resources. Okay, means their virtualization tool plus their hardware, so they are the one who provide their things. Okay, and these things, guys, are known as resources. So they are the one who provide their resources, guys. This is a term we have to use a lot in Terraform topic. So when I use this term resource, there's a keyword actually also in Terraform when I start the Terraform topic today. So this resource is one keyword in the Terraform. So when I use this word resource, so normally I mean to say I have to go to one of my cloud computing company and ask them, can you give me some RAM? Can you give me some CPU? Can you give me something? We'll discuss a lot about this. So this is one term we use there, and this is one more keyword in the Terraform you will see. Okay, and second thing, because this public cloud companies are the companies, they are in this business of cloud computing. Okay, so what they give, they provide us the resources, and that is the reason, guys, this company also known as providers. Okay, so they are the provider of the resources, and again, guys, this is one of the keyword we are going to use in Terraform. So what is Terraform, we haven't discussed yet, but these are the keyword that normally we use a lot in normal way also, but same keyword we are going to use in Terraform world. Okay, but this is, guys, very simple high level diagram or architecture I have designed over here. Now it is very important to know it is very important to know where Terraform fit. Okay, so let me start one by one and try to eliminate where Terraform don't fit. So if you want your website to be created, okay, your developer will create. So how they create, they need some language. So guys, here Terraform we don't need. So we can't create a website from the Terraform. They use Java, PHP, Python, Ruby, some other languages to create this website or app. Okay, now come to this part about the configuration management. So can you use Terraform here? Again, it is a debatable topic. Somebody say yes, we can use. Answer is yes, we can use, but I recommend don't use our Terraform here. Even though I'll show you some demo in my upcoming class, you can use Terraform for the configuration management. But that after the demo, I'll also show you that time the drawbacks of the Terraform in the configuration management part. So that time you come to know, no, don't use Terraform for the configuration management. So I don't, consider Terraform over here. Okay, but if you want to use any configuration management tool, you can use your typical scripting like PowerShell or Shell scripting, or better way would be you can use some new tools of configuration management like Puppet, Ceph, Ansible, and those tools. So these are the tools you can use for the configuration management. Okay, so this is one thing. So here again, Terraform doesn't fit. If you go to your virtualization world, okay, so if you want to set up your virtual environment, again, this is the products in the market. We have the real RAM CPU hardware, so there's no meaning of use any software like Terraform or programming language. They have their own tools, double click and install that one. And again, if you talk about the cloud world, they have their own products, softwares, maybe they created their own app. So again, if you say, can you use Terraform to set up public cloud? Answer is no. Can you set up Terraform to you create private cloud? If you know private cloud also like OpenStack or Eucalyptus or OpenNebula, whatever you know, guys, I don't know. So again, there is no use of Terraform. So technically, where Terraform fit and what Terraform will do for you. So guys, Terraform fit over here. This part. It is a provisioning management tool. Better answer would be, maybe it is harder right now to explain you over here, those who have no knowledge in cloud, but Terraform is an infrastructure as a code tool. It will set up the entire infrastructure, what you need to run your app, or what you need just before you want to configure something. So what I'm talking right now might be harder to you to understand, those who are very new in this world, but just just for initial class for today, you can think Terraform is a tool who help you in provisioning your provisioning of your OS or the environment. Okay, means to set up your instance. Means Terraform is a tool who will contact to either your virtualization world on premises, or they will go and contact the public world like AWS cloud. Public cloud will be AWS, Azure, and Alibaba, and all the things. They will contact to this cloud and say, I need your resources. I know you are the provider of the cloud. So can you give me some RAM, CPU, hard disk, network card, firewall, load balancers, databases, tons of things they have resources. So can you provide those resources? I need those. So can you please go and provide those resources for us, or can you provisioning those systems and services for us? So something like this, I will elaborate more in detail. Something like this where Terraform fit. Okay, so that is a place where Terraform fit. Okay, now point guys come up here. if I again draw here, so it is something like this. Something like this. If I a little bit squeeze this part and talk in one particular concept to explain you the where Terraform properly work and how and why to use Terraform. So you can think in this way. Let's say we have one public cloud. Mostly you guys might know Amazon. They have their own cloud called AWS, Amazon Web Services. This cloud they have, and this cloud has a huge data center. They have a lot of RAM, CPU, a lot of hardware they have, a lot of virtualization tool they have, and tons more things they have in their cloud. Okay, so if you want to go and take the help from this cloud, or want to ask their resources to provide you, so multiple way we have. These normally guys, this cloud give you their own web UI. You can log in, click and done. They will provide their hardware resources to you, or technically in simple term, right, as a one simple example, they will provide your OS to you or instance into you. Sorry, instances to you, right? Means OS to you. Okay, how can I take those resources from AWS with web UI? Or anybody who know this cloud a little bit more in detail, so they also give a command line tool. They have their own command, and you can use their command to go and say, I want that much RAM and CPU, provide me one OS. Okay, or anybody know a little bit more in AWS or on maybe Azure cloud, they have one more facilities called API. Okay. By this, you can use your own favorite language like Python or Scala, write a code, and this code will go to this cloud, and whatever you want to launch on provisioning, they will do for you. So typically, if you go to any of the cloud, every cloud guys will give you three different way. By this three way or 3I means interfaces, you can interface this guy and manage these guys. This will be the right term to say here. Okay, now the point guys over here is, now we don't have one single cloud. We have lots of cloud in the market, and every cloud has their own benefits. Everybody has their own cons and pros and cons. So let's say we have one more cloud, let's say Azure. So Azure also have their own web UI. They also have their own CLI. They also have their own API. Okay, so if you ask AWS, can you provide me 1 GB RAM, 1 CPU, and 1 Windows operating system? This is called instances, sometimes also known as in some of the cloud virtual machines. So they say, yes, I can provide you what exactly you're talking about. Same thing if I ask Azure, can you provide the same virtual machines to me? They say, I can also provide the same virtual machines to you, exactly same setup. Okay, difference would be one of the small difference you can think of in the terms of price. Azure might give you cheaper price, AWS might give you a little bit higher price, and vice versa. Just a very simple, difference. So difference may be in the terms of cost, for example. Okay, now now challenge here is, now some companies say in my company, my developer has created a app that's called web app, and we want to test this app. Not we want to launch this in the real final world. That's called production. I want to just test. Okay, and for testing this app, I need this setup that I was talking about. I need this entire setup. Okay, where I know how we can configure the server. We have a configuration management tool, maybe script or Ansible we have. We ask them, they will configure for me. But before configure, we need our instances. So how we provision this? But before we provisioning our OS, we have to think one more thing, where we provisioning. Either we provisioning in our own internal world, it's called on premises or on data center. We can do it there also. or we can go to public cloud. So whatever the use case where you want to provision this OS, so technically as OS perspective, I say I need, let's say, Red Hat version 8. So Red Hat 8 never know. You're running this Red Hat 8 on premises, on Azure cloud, AWS cloud. According to this OS, they have no idea where you are running. They will run exactly the same way, right? The way they run in your local laptop also. They have no idea. Okay, but as a business guy, okay, or as a manager, you have to think on one thing, because they have no idea. They are running their own world personally under this OS. Okay, but underline this, underneath this OS, now you have to launch this OS either on premises or maybe on your laptop, maybe in Azure cloud or AWS cloud. So your management team will have to consider some more thing before they launch this instance on Azure or AWS cloud. One of the things they consider to choose, either they launch Azure or either they launch AWS. So one of the things they choose is code. There's some more thing, guys, they consider, but one of the things they consider is which will be cheaper for us, because finally this is for testing purpose. If you go to AWS or Azure, they will always charge you per minute basis, per hour basis, depending upon which instance type you are, which OS you are running there. Let's say they charge you, but that's main thing. And because they are testing thing, and every day hundreds of thousands times we are doing testing, we have to save our cost, and to save our cost, we have to take a decision on the fly. That point in time, I have to launch in Azure cloud or AWS cloud or own data center, because if you launch in own data center also, that also come with cost, right? How? Because you have to invest upfront, or maybe you already have invested upfront. Your management cost, your employees cost, your electricity bill cost, land cost, tons other costs also come in play. So one of the thing that you can think of as a planning part or as a strategy part, how we can minimize our cost, if you consider as this one key for you. So let's say your company manager decide right now this point, what we need right now, RAM and CPU and OS version and license we need. We feel Azure would be the right platform. They are a little bit cheaper than AWS, and this is not a game of one OS. Maybe have to launch thousands of OS in a day for multiple testing. So all costs will be very high. So let's consider Azure for now to launch this. Okay, but now who will launch this OS on the top of Azure? Okay, means what do you need? You need RAM, CPU, hard disk plus the operating system. So who will provisioning this entire OS? So basically here we have a cloud engineers, cloud maybe architects, or maybe some of your operations guys or IT guys, depend who have in charge of this providing this facility, who have in this charge, they will go and launch it. Okay, now challenge here is, the big challenge over here is, okay, because this is not only the two cloud, we have GCP also in the competition, we have Alibaba also in competition, we have some more cloud also in the competition. They might provide you cheaper resources. So I can go and very quickly have the costing plan sheets, or there we have a different costing analysis tool available in the market. So again, we are not in the cloud classes, but we have multiple tools, apps available where they can see the differences and cost plans and other things also, to choose which one would be provided as a cheaper resources. But let's say after having all analysis by your management team or your cost planning management kind of team, you decided I want Azure. So you tell your engineers, go and launch the instance in Azure. Now here the big challenge come up. Okay, it means you should have such a great team that have a good knowledge in Azure. Right now, guys, I'm just talking about launching just an instance, and launching instance is one of the simplest knowledge in the cloud world, but it is not the only thing we need. If you go for bigger architecture to be set up, you need multiple instances, you need network load balancers, you need message queue, you need notification system, you need logging system. Tons of component actually work together, then actually your app launch. Okay, so it's not a small knowledge. We need tons of component. After we launch there in the cloud, then only my app will work. Okay, so maybe very high level, you very quickly, if I can explain, maybe I need one lab there on the cloud. Typically in the cloud is called virtual labs or subnets. I need multiple OS, I need router, I need switches, I need firewalls, I need some hardware, hard disk, storage. Okay, so after this entire architecture or lab launch on the cloud, typically it is known as infrastructure. Then only my app might work the way I want. So right now I'm just taking this example of instance, launching one instance, but typically I need the entire infrastructure to be launched there. Okay, it means I require a team who has good and great knowledge in Azure cloud, but not only Azure cloud. Maybe suddenly my management team say, no, I don't need Azure. Now I need, this time I can see what we need as a resource in totality or as a total infrastructure. We analyze the cost and we found AWS or maybe Alibaba is in the cheaper price. So same team, obviously guys, for just changing your behind the scene cloud, that's called your provider. You can't change the team technically and logically and say, now we don't need you, I need a different team for AWS. It means in your company who has in charge of this part, this team has a great knowledge, not in one cloud, you have the great knowledge in all the clouds. There's one thing. So my point, guys, to everyone here is, in your company, I believe mostly over here, you guys are working in company in multiple different roles. And according to my company, Linux World, they told me 100 plus different company guys are in this training from different roles in the company. So my question to everyone is, I'm not asking to reply me, just to think in your mind. Do you have a team in a company? Maybe you have, but normally, do we have one team in the company who have a knowledge in all the cloud? Okay, this is my simple point. So do we have a team who have all the knowledge of all the cloud, or what normally we need? So most probably, if maybe you have, but the resources or the team would be not easy to find, or they're not so much easily in the terms of remuneration per month basis, might not be for company to be provide very easily. And it is not about to have this team only. Today's guys, the focus area is very different. So if I ask this team, hey, please go to Azure, right now I see this requirement in the Azure would be is lesser in the terms of cost management. So please go and launch something in Azure. Technically, we don't have to launch one instance. If you have a requirement of launching one single OS, thing would be so simple. This you can log into web UI, go there and click and OS launch. So pretty simple, nothing very specific. Okay, but requirement is to have this set up entire infrastructure, because I know without having this entire infrastructure to launch my app the way we want to test, or the way we want to work might not work in this way. Okay, so this team have to go and log into Azure with web UI, and after logging web UI, they will go click here and there, connect the pieces together, and after some hours, thing will work. And because they're doing it manually, And guys, if you do manually as a human being, so there definitely a chances and probably a chances there might be mistakes going to happen. Something might miss. Maybe you have to write some port allow in firewall. This time we forgot. Okay, so if we feel app not working, so again we contact our developer guys and say your app is not working. So it's not issue of the developer. This issue from something we block. We forget to tell right in the firewall. So my developer change something. Next time you again do the right way, so thing might work. So it's like it becomes very much messy. That is a reason. That is a reason it is highly recommended. Don't do anything with the web UI. Technically, if you do with the web UI, it will be a very much manual process. That is a reason we always recommend go to their respective command lines. Like AZ command or AWS command, go to command line, and the command line, if you want to launch the OS, getting hardware, RAM, CPU, firewalls, run command, and do your thing done. And you guys know, if you write multiple command together, it becomes a script. A script is like a code, like a program file. It means you write a script only once, run this script, one click, entire infrastructure to be launched. Okay, that's what we need. So thing would be, if the same infrastructure we launch again and again and again. Okay, so just one code we have already written. It might take some time initially, but one code already written, one click, and everything to be what? Automated. And that's what we need. So guys, if automation is your requirement, then every cloud has their own command line tools. Or maybe if you're good in programming language like Python or Scala, you can use and take the help of their API. Same kind of code we can write in Python, and we have a program file, run the program, everything to be automated. One click, in some minute or second, the entire infrastructure to be launched. So this facility is provided by all the cloud. They provide their CLI, they have their own API, or they have their own inbuilt tool where they say if you want to launch the entire infrastructure in my cloud, okay, how? Automatically. And guys, if you want to go automatically, only way to go for automate or automation is a code. So they say we have a way where you can write everything as a code, and by writing the code, you can automate my entire infrastructure. This called infrastructure as code. So almost all cloud has the inbuilt some tools also. For example, anybody who know AWS, they have a tool called cloud formation. Same kind of tool they have in Azure, name will be different. GCP also have. Okay, so they say use this tool, write the code, and one click, whatever you want to launch, maybe one instance, entire infrastructure, you can launch over there. So technically, they are the great big company, right? And that these tools are very much mature. There's no issue in the terms of bugs and something like this. They work very fine, no challenge. Now, point guys over here is, okay, if everything is good, okay, everything is good. We want automation because as the testing requirement come up, my company manager will contact to these guys and say, I want this infrastructure to be ready. They say we'll ready in just a minute and second. So because they have already code ready in their personal languages or commands or their internal tools, one click, entire infrastructure ready. And because they are running with the code, so every time when they run, same exactly infrastructure will launch. So they're very quick. My testing team very quickly put the app there and test it. If they're not working fine, they again have one more script already written in the reverse way. One click, the entire infrastructure will destroy. Okay, and again keep on doing the same thing again and again till they want. So guys, here in this entire concept, if you see here, everything look very much mature, very clean. There's no challenge we are facing here. But again, I want your focus to be in this part that's called cost management part. So now next time my team want to launch the same app, and this time they feel, no, let's go and launch this app in AWS cloud. AWS cloud. The challenge guy here is because my engineers has devoted some of their time on writing the code, because it's not like one click the code created, right? They take some time, some extra knowledge also of how to write the code, maybe of API, or how to write a script, maybe a command line. It takes some maybe day or some time to write this code. But because this code is writing to consider in the mind that we have to use the API of Azure or the command line of Azure, and Azure has their own personal commands, keyword, their own syntax of their API or method name, whatever guys you know about REST API. So they have their own. So that code they have created, everything working good. But suddenly the company said, no, I want to launch this app and test this app, or do want to further things on this particular app now in the AWS cloud. Let's consider one of the case would be they feel something to test there, some security compliant. I don't know what be, and let's think about cost. So they think they feel now I feel AWS might be cheaper for us. Okay, now point guys here is either they can launch this entire setup again manually. I already told you guys, manual we don't want in this today's world, because we are into the agile world. We want things to be very quicker. Quickly you do the things quickly, your app will test, the faster you will give the feedback, faster your developer will debug the things, mature the product, and fastly your product will go to the market. That's called time to market, means they release to the market, and faster you go to the market, you will be survive in this competition world. So for this, I want overall process to be fast, and the only way to make it fast is the help of automation part. So automation is the key. We want it. I don't want to remove the automation part here. Okay, but challenge here is, guys, can you hold for a second, please? Challenge here is the way my cloud engineers write the code. This code is purely based on the Azure. Same code will not work in AWS because they have their own API, own methods, own different syntax. They have their own command line, like AWS command line. They have own parameters. Okay, so if they want to do the same setup, exactly same setup, they have to write again a new script for the AWS with their command. They write their own programming, maybe in the Python with their syntax. So again, they have to do everything from the scratch. But again, this should again come. They want to do in GCP, same thing we have to do again and again. So technically, there is no challenge CLI or API of AWS. There is no challenge in the scripting or automation of Azure. They are mature, no doubt. But challenge is because for one project and for one requirement, I want to use different cloud, a different public cloud. Maybe your requirement be cost management, and this different cloud is called multi-cloud. Or maybe in the simple term, I want to switch on the fly between multi-cloud. Sometimes go to Azure, sometimes go to AWS for same thing to do, and I want everything to be automated. So does AWS provide any command that can control Azure? No. Does Azure provide any API that can help you configure AWS? Answer is no. If they are the individual company, they obviously they won't provide any tool for their competitors. So here the role of some third-party tool come in play, and this tool say, first of all, I am helping you to automate the entire infrastructure. Obviously, you have to write a code for this. So I'm giving a support for IAC, infrastructure as a code. And if you write the code, it will be automate. It means one click, entire setup to be run. This is one thing. But the biggest part of my what I provide to you is I am a third-party tool. I have no direct connection with AWS or Azure, so I'm individual tool, but I know I know how to connect to AWS, how to connect with GCP, how to connect with Azure. And the beautiful part is if you write a code using my tool or using my platform for managing the entire infrastructure. Okay, the beautiful thing is you have to write a code once. Okay, and same code I can, even though I can use the word called almost same code, if you want to run in AWS, if you run on Azure, if you're under GCP, same code gonna run there. Even though I know the command line is different, the API is different, the company name is different, the product name internal running the cloud is different, but we have some internal trick, we have some power that we'll discuss in detail in upcoming class. But you have to write a code once using my own personal language. You don't have to worry about none of the personal languages. So everybody has their own personal languages, own command or own API to work on that part. Now you don't have to work and know any of the personal languages. Okay, or you don't have to know any of their, how their web UI work, how their CLI work, how their API work. You have no requirement to know this. You just be trained on my tool, on my platform, on my language, how I write the code. Just one code, and this code, when you want to run here, run it. When you run here, switch this. When you run here, switch this. Maybe some small change you might do in the code, but almost 99%, and this code will run in all the environment. Okay, and if you want this power, and this power we need, guys, if you need to solve this use case, again, tons of more use case we have, but the concept that I'm trying to explain you, if you want to solve this use case, so whenever I want, I can tell my cloud engineer, launch the infrastructure. They say, where? Azure. They say, done. One click, done. Now this team say, launch the same infrastructure, exactly same infrastructure, almost I can say same infrastructure in AWS. They say, one click, done. So again, they write the code for automation for once, but this code will give a capability to switch whenever they want to switch between the cloud. Means technically you're having a multi-cloud facility without knowing none of the cloud of their respective interfaces. So one interface you need, one programming language you need, or one tool you have to be trained on. And name of this tool is, guys, obviously is Terraform. So powerful tool, right? I can say so intelligent tool. Just once create a code for one cloud, small changes, maybe sometimes no changes, the same code will do the same thing in multiple different cloud. So Terraform, guys, is a tool, is a software. Okay, Terraform has their own. This tool is from a company called HashiCorp, and Terraform, guys, has their own personal language on which you can write a code. It's called HCL language that we'll discuss. Everything we guys work on this particular language only. We'll talk about when I start writing the code. Okay, but the most powerful thing is just write the code for once. An entire infrastructure to be automated is called IX. Okay, there's not this cool thing about this tool, because every cloud has their own tool for infrastructure as a code. Like say in AWS we have cloud formation, so it's not a cool thing that everything to be automated. There is an extra facility they provide to you. The cool thing about Terraform is they support almost all the providers. That's a cool thing. And without knowing that their respective command that I would explain to you, just focus on the Terraform code, know the Terraform code, and you can control, manage, and configure the entire cloud. Okay, but understand one thing, what we are getting from the cloud, we are getting the hardware, and on the top of our hardware, we're getting OS. This is the main thing. Some more thing we need. Technically, this part also, guys, is a part of instance, and instance is also a part of infrastructure. So for provisioning management, guys, is one of the part of infrastructure is actually managed by Terraform. We can do configuration. I will tell you how to do, but I suggest don't use Terraform for the configuration management. So technically, if you now go to your Terraform website, there's an official website of the Terraform. Okay, if you go here and if you see here, this is the infrastructure code tool. It's a software that manages hundreds of cloud services. that is also known as cloud providers. Okay, so guys, infrastructure code is a by default part, but technically they have all the provider support is one of the good and powerful. And they use a language called declarative. What is declarative, guys? Maybe when I start writing the code, I will explain you different between imperative language that you use in a scripting world and declarative language that you use here. So powerful concept we'll discuss. But the language that you are going to use is HashiCorp Confidence SCL to do it. So pretty simple language, even though we have no programming skills, even though guys you can learn this language very easily. And these are some of the top cloud provider they support. But even though guys, not only the cloud, they support virtualization tool also like VMware. And if anybody who know container management tool like Kubernetes, so you can use this tool also to connect to Kubernetes. So without knowing the Kubernetes command also, you can do the thing there. If you want, again, this is not part of this program, but if you want, I'll show you the demo of those parts. Okay. So these are the things. So I thought, guys, that I might start a demo today. 500 plus provided the support. So powerful. It's not a small thing. 500 power means 500 different clouds, or maybe different tools and platform they support here. Okay. So I thought, guys, I might start some practicals today, but my discussion become a little bit longer here. But technically now I believe you know, because it's a very common thing. It is asked that we have an Ansible or Puppet, why we use Terraform. Okay. So maybe anybody who know Ansible, recently I completed Ansible training. There also I demonstrated some demo that we can use Ansible code, that's called playbook, to go and launch the instance on the cloud. Okay, but that is not so much mature. What I mean by maturity, maybe my first practical that I'm going to demonstrate tomorrow, you'll come to know, guys, what I'm talking about maturity. So your configuration management tool like Puppet and all those things, if you Ansible, if you know, they won't help you in the infrastructure management on the cloud, because technically the overall goal of any cloud in the world as a base level, they are infrastructure as a services. And guys, if you talk about infrastructure service, tons of thing is there to be managed in the infrastructure. And if you want entire infrastructure to be automated, I need IAC. And Terraform is one of the great tools that has a very maturity in to managing the complete entire infrastructure. So in my upcoming demonstration, guys, you come to know what I'm talking about. So anybody who has still a doubt, I can do the thing with Ansible, I agree. I can do with the thing with Puppet, I agree, but not at that level of maturity, or not that at level of the internal or complex use case. You can't solve it. Terraform is the only way or best way to do it. Okay. So I think guys, till here you understood. So before guys, tomorrow class, I just want to do one thing here. I want you install Terraform in your laptop very quickly. Let me show you how to install Terraform. So if you just go, because Terraform is a tool or is a software, you can just go and search for Terraform download. You can find this link. And I'm going to use one of the latest version of the Terraform, that is 0.15. There's one latest version we are going to use in this training. So based upon your base operating system, Terraform support everywhere. If you want to use Mac, Linux, Solid, or Windows, you can go and download. I'm using right now Windows. Double click and download. And very simple tool. Nothing special here. They give you some zip file, double click, and that's all. It installed for you. So in my case, I already downloaded, but let me very quickly show you this zip file and download it. And when you double click, it only give you one file, that is your executable file. That's all. Wherever guys you extract this file, go to that folder and run it. Or maybe better maybe if guys, whatever OS you are using, put this file in your respective path. So what I did, I go to my Windows C drive. In the C drive, normally guys, we put all the program in the program file in the C drive. Here guys, I created, it's not created by automatically. Here I created manually a folder called Terraform. Terraform. And here I copy this program. Which program? After I extract this file, they only give one single file. This is called Terraform executable file. I copy here. Same thing you do in Mac and Linux also. Create one folder and copy the file there. That's called application file or your executable file. So whenever guys you want to run a Terraform, always come to this folder, run it. Or what can you do? You can open your environmental variable, go to path and set it. So go and edit. And here just create a new. And guys, wherever you copy this program, just go and add. That's all. Same thing, anybody who know Mac and Linux, they have a path variable there in your command prompt. In the shell, you can create one path there. Okay, that's all. So installing Terraform is so simple. Now you can use any of your laptop where guys, normally wherever guys you put your Terraform program, so you become the client of your cloud, typically also known as you are sitting in your workstation. So this my laptop guys would be my workstation. So you can use any of the workstation, whatever feel like. Terraform almost support all the operating system here, what normally cloud guys normally use. And to confirm everything working good or not, so open the terminal, and terminal was already open guys, again close and again open the terminal and run a Terraform version command. Okay, if this command run successfully, there's no error come up and they show you present this version, it means your Terraform install successful. So whatever OS you guys are comfortable on, so they are very much dynamic kind of tool. I can say cross-platform kind of tool. You can install Terraform anywhere. This is one binary, put in one folder, set the path if you want, and then run it. So from tomorrow on, guys, I will directly move to HCL as a language. That's called declarative language. So I first explain you what declarative, and from tomorrow onwards, everything would be pure practical. Okay, and lots of hundreds of use cases we're going to solve on the top of this. So I suggest guys, before the tomorrow class, have this thing ready, then I will explain you further concept of the Terraform. Okay, so that's all guys for today. Any queries if you have, you guys can put in your Q&A box. I'll try to explain you one by one. Guys, in this class, guys, I will normally create these kind of diagram. I think these are the better way to understand the concept, right? The flow. So all this diagram, guys, I will put in one Google Doc device, and this doc, guys, will provide you in a Google Drive. This is one thing. Second thing, from tomorrow onwards, we are going to write multiple commands, multiple code. So I will show you step by steps, and then finally code, guys, I will upload you in my Google Drive for your future reference. So everything, guys, will be compiled in one folder that is called Google Drive. Will guys, maybe today or tomorrow, will provide the link of the Google Drive. So that is the best way to provide resources to you. No, we are not going to use any hypervisor here, guys. Okay, because cloud also already have the hypervisor, right? Why we need hypervisor? So our motto is we will contact to public cloud like AWS and say, I want one OS to be launched. So they will provide OS to us. Now, what hypervisor they use, that they are lookout. I know by chance they use Zen hypervisor, but they will provide to us. That's what our plan is. But how I contact to cloud, not using AWS command lines or the API, I will use Terraform code. So my Terraform contact to AWS, and they ask what I ask in my Terraform code that I'll show you from tomorrow onwards. Which is better in provisioning? Ankit, I think you got my answer already. Obviously, for provisioning of the OS and the infrastructure, Terraform is the best one. I don't consider Ansible as a part of provisioning tool. Ansible is always a configuration management tool. Ishwar, what you see, does big product company like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Flipkart, they are big company, they have a great capital, they can create their own data center cloud. So does they require skill like Terraform? I understand one thing. uh, if they are big companies, even though the if you understand the management perspective, they say if we are in one particular product, why we need to create our own cloud? We can outsource. Just for example, talk about a bank, right? Bank, we have huge fund, right? They can create their own cloud data center, but they don't do it normally. They might have, but they don't do much. They outsource to the other company who are good in infrastructure, right? Like they provide to Amazon, Google, and say you manage our infrastructure on our behalf. Okay, this is one point is what you're asking. Second thing is, even though Amazon has their own data center, okay, but I have seen a lot of use cases inside the Amazon team. It's very, illogical to see here, but I see a lot of use case in the team where they're testing the product, something in Amazon, something in different cloud, maybe multiple other regions also. So there they also use Terraform. So if you guys see some of the DevOps engineer job or cloud job or public tool job come in Amazon, most of the jobs I've seen, they're asking for Terraform. Okay, so this is one thing. So it is not like this. If some company has their own cloud, so does they need a tool like hybrid tool that have capability to connect to other cloud? Because Terraform is not only for public cloud. Terraform we can use for Kubernetes also, right? It's a different kind of tool altogether. Terraform we use for private cloud also. Terraform we can use for virtualization tool also. So maybe have one single company, but they might have multiple different platform to run and manage the infrastructure, right? So there also Terraform is very much useful. Arun, Ansible Tower and Terraform is a two very different tool again. You can think Ansible Tower is a graphical version of Ansible. Maybe they give you some more capability of monitoring, allocating the role graphically, setting the play, assigning to particular inventory. So the extra capability you can find in the Ansible Tower, okay, but that is not solving the infrastructure as a code of multiple cloud or multiple environment. It's just a graphical tool or management tool on the top of Ansible you can think of. So Ansible Tower is a different tool, powerful tool. You should know if you are in the world of config as a management, and if you know Ansible, so next step would be always go to Ansible Tower. But but Terraform is a different tool. But you can use Ansible Tower to connect to Terraform, and they will do for the thing. And vice versa also, we can use Terraform to provision the things. Then the Terraform contact to Ansible Tower. They have a plugin for this in Terraform, or Terraform will contact Ansible playbook directly, and they can do for this. So both the tool actually work together. So if you say, does we use Ansible or Terraform? One, I said no. These tool is a complementary to each other, right? Both the tool work together. It is something like this. So no, there's no meaning principle of any service in Terraform like Terraform. So Terraform can't be as a service because Terraform duty is to connect multiple cloud, and obviously there's no meaning in AWS. Through this, you can connect multiple cloud, right? What different imperative and declarative language? Tomorrow, guys, I will discuss at this point to you. Yes, Ganesh, we can integrate Terraform with the OpenShift. Maybe in my upcoming class, I will tell you the use case, but obviously in this class, I won't show you, but I will tell you the use case. Okay. So that's all, guys, for today. Tomorrow we'll likely jump to the hands-on. You will become more comfortable to understand the power of Terraform. That's all, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Good and take care.